What's up, beautiful Aquarius people? Welcome to your tarot reading / astrology talk here at the Intuitive Teacup. I'm happy to have you all out there. I'm going to do it a little differently this week. Highly recommend you watch the video for your rising sign. Give it a Google search. You need to know your place, date, and time of birth. It will generate your rising sign, aka the ruler of your first house. So the zodiac sign that sits in the first house of your birth chart, that's your rising sign. Watch a video because with all the astrology stuff I'm going to throw in this week, I just feel guided to do that. It might resonate with you more to watch your rising sign. That being said, of course, anyone and everyone is welcome into this reading for specifically Aquarius Rising. If you have strong placements in Aquarius, you will probably resonate with some of the material that comes through. But again, up to you, whatever you want to watch. Most important though, come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to learn something and better yourself, better your situation. If the material doesn't resonate, please release it, let it go, assume it's going out to someone else who needs to hear it. It might just resonate for you at a future time or date. Do remember you're accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is optional advice, guidance, and an energy check-in with a little bit of astrology knowledge thrown in this week. So we are going to do both, but at first I'm going to hit you with some astrology because there's a lot going on this week and there's some exciting stuff that I think we just need so badly. I think a lot of us collectively are just ready for some change. So let's set the intention now to get my Aquarius gang some clear, helpful, and insightful messages for wherever they are at on their spiritual path. So first and foremost, happy Taurus season. It is Taurus season, so there's going to be a lot of focus on your fourth house of home, family, land, property, your past, your roots, your legacy, your ancestry. With the sun moving in there, there's always an opportunity to shed some light on those topics. Then there's room for growth. And growth that it might get you out of your comfort zone a little bit, ironically, because usually our home is our comfort zone, but not necessarily, right? For some of you, we did have the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in the sign of Taurus. Again, symbolically for my Aquarius is your fourth house, which has to do quite literally with the home and the place you reside. Again, past roots, ancestry, legacy, land, things like that. Now with that, that's exciting. That's a transit that happens every 14 or so years. Jupiter is the planet most associated with growth and expansion, as well as children, education, spirituality, sometimes babies, right? So those topics may be playing an important role in your life, or have been, because Jupiter's been transiting that for a while now. And with Uranus, there's kind of unexpected shocks and twists and turns in that narrative and changes and breakaways and liberation and freedom and breakthroughs regarding those Jupiterian things. So it's like freedom and liberation in order to grow and develop and evolve spiritually. And I use the word spiritually in the loosest sense, but I think there's potential for that to have lasting effects that are quite positive, though it may have been a little bit disruptive, around sort of, when was it? I think it was April 20th. That was ish, I should say, when that conjunction occurred. Again, you didn't miss the blessings by any means because it happened in the earth sign of Taurus. It's kind of a slow and steady build. We have to work to feel that progress and change, but Uranus does come in with kind of that earthquake energy of whoa, and it happened all at once. So I don't know. I think we have no reason not to be optimistic and positive about the long-term effects of that, but just know that, there's a lot of major changes going through, again, stuff to do with your house and your family, where you want to live, where you reside, your property, family type stuff. Maybe with Jupiter headed through there, maybe there was unexpected pregnancy or, something like that. We had a full moon in Scorpio not too long ago that was highlighting your 10th house of career, status, reputation in the world. And something about that is likely undergoing major change and transformation. Full moon brings more visibility to that sector in your chart and those topics in your life. And when it's being squared by Pluto in your first house, no less, you yourself are undergoing some sort of important process and catharsis and transformation. Things to do with your career, there might be an elimination or a reinvention or some sort of important transformation that is impacting not just you as a person and how you make your way through the world, but also your reputation and the way other people see you and how you show up in the world in the long term, what people remember you for right now or what you're associated with right now. now. There might be much more of a pull on sort of inner workings of your mind and psychology, or I don't know. Yes, a lot to do with money, essentially. The ruler of the full moon of Scorpio, it's Mars, and that has been in Pisces, which is your second house of income, money, wealth, resources, how you make your money, who and what you value in life. So those topics are probably shifting and changing, and it's okay. They might not always be stagnant or consistent and the same. I think there's a need to allow the releasing and the let going of things in order to make room for blessings and abundance in your life. There could be a major shift in money and changes happening in your money sector going off. And for some of you, it does feel like a pull in a more spiritual direction. And maybe it's just incorporating that into your daily routine. Or maybe for some of you that might be more of a focus for your career. All right, last two things I just want to talk about because these are exciting things. Mercury has gone direct. It's been retrograding in the sign of Aries, your third house of communications, local travel, transit, but your house of writing, perception, thinking, contracts, Mercury type stuff. There's been a lot of need to reassess and go back and seek clarity or better communicate or, rewrite, redo, reorganize, reassess, replan, revisit. In Aries, it feels like we're having rapid fire thoughts that weren't really getting us anywhere. I think a lot of people, and I'm not saying this is necessarily true for you, but a lot of people, there was just like this cyclical thing of our thoughts going around and around and around, but not getting anywhere. It's like in the sign of Aries, like the thoughts are moving and they're going a mile a minute. But they're not really giving us clarity on anything, in which case it kind of feels like very spun out, just like overwhelmed with thoughts and not knowing how to proceed forward. The beautiful thing is now that Mercury is moving direct, we're going to be able to actually do something with those thoughts or those ideas, or finally express things more clearly. Or if conversations were quarrelsome or heavy or difficult, we actually may revisit those now and have some ability to get clarity on it and move forward. I'm really excited about Mercury not being in retrograde anymore. This may have even had to do with issues with your siblings, possibly with your cousins, writing projects, educational matters. Your learning, your ability to process things may have been a little bit wonky or challenging, and so do have faith and hope that will get better. You will see some improvement there for sure. Two other exciting things real quick. Mars is moving into Aries. So again, that third house of writing, communication, processing, mental abilities, siblings, neighbors, things of that sort. Mars likes to be in Aries. It's a planet that wants to take action and do and move forward. It's about our will, our drive, our motivation. It is better able to do its thing in the sign of Aries because Aries is ruled by Mars. So again, not only are we going to have more mental clarity, we're going to be able to put the action and endurance and effort into things in order to move forward. We're going to have more stamina. We're going to feel revitalized and rejuvenated with Mars moving into Aries. I think that's happening on like May 3rd-ish. Actually, I think it's earlier in April, maybe like April 30th. I don't know. And then last but not least, Taurus season. So the sun is already in Taurus. You have that beautiful planet of Jupiter going through your fourth house of home and family. Pretty soon Venus is going to be there too. So if things have been tense or difficult with family, there's going to be more ease. There's going to be more harmony. There's going to be more balance. A need to relate, or not a need, a desire to relate and relax and have sort of like kind of peaceful interactions and hangout sessions, maybe in your home. Maybe you're inviting friends and people into your home with Venus, or maybe you're taking time to spend time with your family, but also whatever brings you pleasure that you can do in your home or in your private sector, right? Some sort of skill or hobby that you have that it's like, I just want to go in the basement, turn on my music and paint. You're going to be able to do that. And not only that, you're really going to enjoy it right now. So anyway, we have things to look forward to at the end of April and in early May as well. So here we go. What does the tarot want to tell Aquarius? I know I threw a lot at you. I just felt guided to. It just felt like we needed to hear some very tangible goalposts that we're working towards. I think not everybody, but I know April was a rough month astrologically, and a lot of people were feeling it. So yeah, what are you thinking about? The Page of Swords, the more I read for it, more so than it being a messenger card, I think it's about to be. I think it's working its way up to the Knight of Swords, which is a delivery of messages and communications. This is like someone still processing what they're going to say or what they're going to do. So sort of formulating an action plan. So maybe this is you. Maybe this is someone who's wanting to come towards you. And feeling more confident, better prepared for the conversation, feeling better informed because they've had time to digest the information or do the research. So now whatever it is that they're presenting, again, I don't know if that's you or someone else, they're doing it with more confidence and ease and feeling like they know what they're talking about. They know what they're bringing to the table now. So there isn't like a nervous, chaotic energy that maybe you were experiencing, again, with Mercury and Aries. There's like I just got to get it all out, but it's not necessarily a fully formed plan yet, right? Here it's like, I think you're starting to understand that the delays or the disruption in communication or misinterpretations, it actually did benefit you in the long run because you had to go back and do something with more precision, with more skill, with more attention to detail. Oh, and look at that. It yields a good 2 of Cups. So this is about people coming together and sharing their honest, authentic truth. Very oftentimes it does have to do with sharing our feelings. Now, this doesn't have to be romantic, but it certainly could be. Maybe you took a break or took a pause or pushed pause rather from a dynamic in your life that didn't feel like it was at ease or bringing you peace. If this is romantic, it does kind of feel like you guys were both thinking about each other and putting on a good face. Like you didn't want the other person to know that you were missing them. But I think there's like a mirroring effect here of like you were both holding on to each other. You were both very much still thinking about this. So I think with the 4 of Pentacles, you know, it's a loaded card because it has a lot of meanings for me as a reader. But here, I think this is about establishing better stability with one another before you try and, you know, build something beautiful together. It's like you have to have the basics first. You have to have good communication with this person. You need to be able to share how you feel about them before you know, I don't know, move in together or start a family or whatever it is. It's like there may have been this idea of trying to like rush the process. Or feeling, I don't know why I'm getting this, but the idea of like love bombed. Mercury in Aries is like, again, rapid fire communication and saying things, you know, maybe with good intention, but not necessarily fully processing them or having any like substance to them. It's like very rushed, very much like, I just want to get to the end game or get to, it's sort of like what I'm getting is like the desire of it, right? Like I want the sex, so I'm going to promise you the sun and the moon and the stars to get that. And then once I do, it's like my communication is going to like drift off from there. And then it's going to leave the other person kind of like, wait a minute, what was that? Like, I don't know. There's just something like telling you what you want to hear. For some of you, it felt like you got burned. And put this in context too, if it doesn't make sense for you romantically, it could be obviously without the sex part, you know, symbolically, someone telling you what you want to hear in order to get out of you what it is that they wanted. And I think some of you felt kind of used and abused or felt like underpaid, undervalued, underappreciated. Here's the thing. For a majority of you, I actually don't think the person you're dealing with is a bad person or was really coming from a bad place. I think you both were the victims of Mercury retrograde in different ways. But I think you both walked away with important lessons. And I don't know, you guys, I kind of think that this isn't over. So if this is a falling out with a coworker or a boss or even a friendship where it just felt like someone was doing all the heavy lifting or, you know, the give and the take wasn't equal, I don't think either of you are fully ready to let go of this yet because there's something about it that in some ways, I hope this makes sense, it did benefit you both in some ways. I think there just needs to be a readjustment, something about addressing an important topic in conversation, but there needs to be a readjustment in how you guys choose to move forward together. Yeah, you know, 6 of Swords does talk about progress. Sometimes with this, I think it's like an absence makes the heart grow fonder. So like if this thing, person, energy, situation was removed from your life a little bit, whether you chose to walk away or something ended or someone pushed pause or, hey, we need to take a break. Or, you know, maybe you took a personal day or a personal week, or you took some vacation time to get away from the coworker or the boss or the stress at work. Sometimes with this, it's like absent makes the heart grow fonder. And as you return to it, you have a little bit more clarity of what you want to get out of this, what you're hoping to accomplish, and seeing if you guys can get back on the same page. Yeah, the Six of Swords is a card of progress, and again, I think it's like I'm more equipped to deal with this now. I have more information. I've had some time to process my feelings or process what's really going on here, and being able to ask more confidently for what you need from, again, this person, this entity, when maybe before I think there was a lot of anxiety or apprehension because it was so precious to you, you didn't want to lose it, and so maybe you didn't want to risk saying the thing that was going to alienate or agitate this person. Now that doesn't seem very Aquarian to me, but hey, we're all a little bit different out there, right? So this card may also be representing a mutual energy of, I don't know why I'm getting a fallout or like a falling out, because none of the cards here really indicate that, but I'm just sensing there was. I think, again, there's going to be an opportunity to revisit this connection, this person, this situation. And I think you both have had sleepless nights about, can we fix this? Is this fixable? How do we move on from this? Have I lost it for good? I think both of you are still very attached to this and not wanting to let it go. So if there is a mutual desire to show up better, to be better, not just for ourselves, but in this connection, right? There has to be a certain amount of devotion, dedication, loyalty, but an ability to be compassionate and understanding in regards to where the other person is coming from. If you're able to maybe swallow your pride a little bit and not let ego drive the bus, if you guys can come together and just be really honest and authentic, you're both still holding on to this. I think there was a lot of false assumptions here with the Seven of Cups. I think there was something about illusion and fantasy, or worst case scenario running amok. Like the idea of this playing out in worst case scenario in your head, thinking all is lost, something that was so precious to me, I've lost it, or I shouldn't have said that thing, or the opposite, I should have said that thing to try harder or rescue the situation, or I don't know, something about intervention might be coming through, and that actually might be a more loaded word than I realize with the Seven of Cups. That might speak to some of you on a different level, but the Seven of Cups says there was confusion about feelings and intentions, and I think they weren't necessarily being spoken. I think there was a lot of feelings under the surface, but we weren't able to bring them up into the light in order to actually see them and address them and see them with clarity, because maybe someone was still in the process of understanding how they felt about this. I'm not exactly sure if this is going to resonate for everybody in terms of career stuff. Maybe it is more romantic. So what is sort of the final statement piece here? Like, what does Aquarius need to leave this video knowing, if I can tell them any one thing? I think you're going to have to risk vulnerability. So if that is not your comfort zone, that is going to be sort of a necessary step here, and it's going to be a great learning process for you. I think the Four of Pentacles in detriment can talk about a desire to stay exactly where we are, and like, I don't want anything to change or move because I don't want to risk losing it. But there can sometimes be a lack mentality with that, or a miserly holding on to everything when it's not necessarily for the best and highest good of everyone involved. Sometimes you have to give a little. Sometimes you have to lose a little to gain a lot, and make room for better things. The King of Pentacles is an excellent card of devotion and loyalty and commitment. It's kind of like my husband, father card, and not to make it a gender thing per se, right? It's earth energy. It's very strong Taurian energy. So it's someone who's very well composed, someone who's very good with money, someone who doesn't like a lot of drama. And again, it's a king card. It's a high court card. So I think this card speaks about doing the right thing, and maybe that is going to, there is something to do with swallowing your pride, or not allowing your ego or shadow side to sort of take over. There's beauty and strength in being able to admit when you're wrong. And I think both of you are learning that lesson. I don't think it's one person. Or if it's not admitting you're wrong, acknowledging how you could have acted differently. And with that, I'm going to add the caveat of, but what if you didn't do anything wrong per se? What if you were meant to go through this challenging chapter? Maybe this is a karmic relationship where it triggered you in a way where you didn't act in a higher vibration, but that in itself was beautiful because you were able to kind of go into this soul searching, deep dive into the shadow self and recognize, ooh, hey, I kind of do that. And maybe it's not benefiting me. Maybe that's a self-sabotaging habit or pattern or instinctual nature that I have. And maybe that's a muscle I got to flex and work out so it becomes stronger. And then you have more clarity on how to approach this. I think there's a lot of like self-growth here, which I mean, ultimately it's like, well, duh, that's what tarot is. But I don't know. I think it does have to do with that full moon Scorpio. I think it has to do with that Pluto and Aquarius. There's a deeper psychological dig in yourself and understanding where habits and patterns have formed in your life and how they maybe have been controlling or dictating relationships, and where you have the ability to release and let go. Because with the Seven of Cups, you don't need all of them. You don't need all of them. In fact, it leads to the Eight of Cups, which is like, I release it. It doesn't serve me anymore. I don't need this. Okay, so your angel number this week, Aquarius, is 5. Flexibility is your forte. It's funny, I think somebody else just got this. In fact, it may have been Scorpio. When life throws you curveball, you can easily adapt to new circumstances and find excitement in the unexpected change. Be brave and bold in your endeavors. I am adaptable. Aquarius, thank you so much for joining me this week. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment if you so desire. If you want more content from me, I'm on Instagram and Facebook. I am sending you all the best, and I will see you soon for more tarot. Bye, guys.